podcast. Under the full moon in Santa Cruz, California, we are here with the Santa Cruz Ghost Hunters to answer the question, is it a ghost or a ghost story?
This is Marianne Porter, your host with Santa Cruz Ghost Hunters. Is it a ghost or a ghost story? Tonight we're here live on location at the Castro Adobe located in Watsonville, California. A special guest tonight is Jessica Kush, who is with the
Friends of Santa Cruz State Parks.
Wonderful. Can you explain what you do and a little bit about the Friends of the State Park?
Yeah, so we provide most of the funding for the interpretation and the reconstruction effort going on here. And I provide the project management. It's actually, this whole site is owned by the state parks, but Friends of Santa Cruz State Parks works in collaboration with California State Parks to provide funding for interpretation, but also capital improvement projects like this.
Wow.
So it's been a big project. I've been involved since 2007.
My goodness. And just witnessing it in person, you can see that it is a huge reconstruction development. Can you tell us a little bit about the history of the Adobe?
Yeah, so it's built between 1848 and 1849 by Juan Jose Castro. And this was kind of towards the end of the Rancho period here in California. This is when California was part of Mexico. So it's the Mexican Rancho era. There was a huge land grant called the San Andreas Land Grant that was owned by the Castro family. And so this was up on one portion of the land grant. There were other adobe buildings down south towards San Andreas Road that were the original buildings. Those are gone now. And so this was the two-story kind of hacienda that was built up on the hill by Juan Jose. So he lived here for till about 1883, and then a Danish family moved in here, the Hansen family, and they made a lot of changes to the building. They lowered the roof line, they changed the balcony out and did a bunch of different changes to the building. Let's see, what else? After them, then after that, there's numerous owners. They lived here till about 1914, and there's numerous owners, people who really were kind of stewards of the building, really began caring about the building about 1940. In 1930s, it was just a barn. People were not living here, it was used for livestock. And then in the 1940s, people started realizing, hey, this is an important historic building, and starting to take care of the building. In 1988, it was purchased by Adobe conservationist and Edna Kimbrough, who had done a lot of work on other Adobe buildings in the area. And she only lived here for a short time before the 1989 earthquake hit and damaged the north and south end of the building. So it kind of sat in limbo for a while. In 2002, it was purchased by the state park, or acquired by the state parks. And then it sat a little bit longer till 2007 when we did the Adobe brick making project, where we built 2,500 Adobe brick and restored the cocina wall and the south wall.
Amazing.
That's a long history.
That is a long history. Wow. And since the parks have owned it, clearly there's been massive construction and redevelopment, and it's really exciting. When do you anticipate it being complete?
That's a very good question. We're not sure. We're really working hard. It's going to be open in a phased opening process with the cocina open first. We're really trying to work with Pajaro Valley schools to get them to come here and learn about the Rancho era. So we're going to be kind of pulling teachers from there and field trips, getting them up here. So the cocina will open first, and then we'll work on the interior restoration of the building here that we're sitting in. So
it'll be available to the public.
Yes, at some point. We're not sure when. It's a long process, but hopefully soon.
Well, we look forward to that. Now, there's a reason Santa Cruz Ghost Hunters is here tonight, and we understand that there's been a lot of interesting feeling going on with the 200-year-old Castro Adobe and with the history. We wanted to see if there was a little bit going on. Now, just out of curiosity, I understand that there was an experience involving a contractor. Can you elaborate a little on that?
Right. So there was a contractor who was working on the seismic stabilization of the building, and he lived on site in a trailer, and he would come and close up the building every day. And many times when he would come back in the morning, a certain light in a certain place would be on every time. And so we kind of always thought that was strange, that something was going on in that room. And other people have had experiences here that were a little bit different. Like people have felt things upstairs where I think Charlie was telling us earlier where somebody felt like somebody was standing right behind them, that type of thing. But I always feel like I was saying earlier, I always feel like it's very positive vibe here. And I think you were saying that you felt that too, that it's
exactly.
I feel like whatever it is, they're happy we're working on it.
Exactly. Yeah, I would definitely say it's got a very happy glow about it,
Right.
Very happy feeling. Yeah. It's a very unique piece of history, and we're honored to actually be here tonight.
Yeah, it's a really fun, exciting place to work, and to see it going through all these different phases, and hopefully opening at some point in the near future. Like I said, it's a labor of love. You can see with Charlie, and he's just like the tip of the iceberg for all the people that care about this place. So it's been really...
Well, wonderful. Well, thank you for being here, Jessica.
Sure. And
can you tell us your website? So for our listeners, if they want to learn more about the Adobe, maybe make a donation, volunteer your time.
Right. It's Friends of Santa Cruz State Parks, and that's www.thatsmypark.org. And there's actually a tab for the Castro Adobe that you can go to and learn about the Castro Adobe, but also it gives updates on the work that we're doing here, and kind of little snippets of information about all the different phases we're going through. So that's a good place to get more information.
Wonderful. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Next up, we have a special guest, Charlie Kiefer with the Castro Adobe. Charlie, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing just fine.
Can you tell me a little bit about yourself and what you do at the Adobe?
Yes, I actually am you might say I'm kind of a docent at the Castro Adobe. It's quite not open to the public yet, but Friends of Santa Cruz State Parks allows me to give some private tours. And I am a Castro descendant, so it's kind of nice to give tours in a building that your family actually owned at one time.
Well, that's absolutely amazing, actually. I know when we first met, just to learn that you are a descendant of the Castro family, I was blown away.
Yeah, it was interesting because I grew up not even knowing I was a Castro. It was never talked about. We never even knew the Adobe was here. I did not find this out till, I was approximately 50 years old. So it's been a great find to be involved with this.
Wow. How did you find out about being relation, if you could briefly tell me?
Sure. What happened is the name that we had was Majors. Joseph Ladd Majors came out of Tennessee in 1833, came out on the Santa Fe Trail. And when he got out here, he married a Spanish or Mexican lady, and her name was Marie de Los Angeles Castro. Well, the only name we ever had was Majors, and it goes back to 1833, so nobody ever researched any further than that. So one day I figured we had children, I should probably find out the next step, and that's when I did some investigation and found out that I was related to the Castro family.
Amazing. Yes. And it ultimately led you here to the Castro Adobe.
Yeah, actually what happened in 1989, my wife and I became docents at Wilder Ranch, which happened to be my great-great-grandmother's and her two sisters' original Mexican land grant. And that's kind of got me started. Once I was in the state park system, then things just kind of fell into place after that.
Wow. That's fantastic. Now, tonight, Santa Cruz Ghost Hunters is visiting. We're trying to find out if it's a ghost or a ghost story. With all the history here at the Adobe, it's just amazing. It's a beautiful place. I can't believe all the work you guys have already accomplished on it. And I understand you have some ghost stories.
Oh, yes. There's 2 or 3 stories that certainly can be interpreted as a possible ghost. That's very, very true. Yes.
Well, we would love to hear.
Well, we have one. It was kind of the first major one we've ever had. There's been little things that people may be tapping you on the back or talking to you and so forth. But we had an event in the garden, which was probably attended, maybe around 50 people were in the garden. And my wife and I, Patty, were the kind of the MCs. And we had 2 or 3 things to do, some songs to play and a little dance to do and things like that. Well, when I recorded the songs, I kind of misplaced them. Instead of having song number 1, I actually ended up with song number 3 on the little CD that I was going to play and we were going to dance to. But when I pushed the button, I instantly realized that I had the wrong song. So I turned to my wife real quickly and I whispered, honey, you're going to have to ad-lib for a little bit. I've got to kind of figure out where these songs are. So our daughter, it was out of sequence. She turned around and told a story about our daughter and myself working in the gardens a few years ago. And our daughter stood up and said, do you feel the Castros? I can actually feel them in the garden. And I didn't. I said, no, I really don't. And Christy said, they are here. So then I kind of winked at Patty and said, okay, I'm ready to play the song. And then I went to play the song just then. And it was a calm day. A gust of wind came in and made a big circle in the garden, and a big circle, and a very, very heavy wind, and all the oak leaves from the tree scattered down on the people. There was a person in the audience that stood up and said, how in the hell did you do that?
They thought it was part of the performance.
And I kind of said, I didn't do that. And I said, this is all out of sequence. If the song had played, maybe something wouldn't happen, or if it would have happened, it wouldn't have happened in that sequence. So everybody went away definitely thinking that the spirits of the Castros come blowing in here that day. It was very, very exciting, very exciting.
Wow, with 50 witnesses, that's
yes.
pretty cool.
And I still meet people today saying, come on, how did you do that? I didn't do it. Anyway, yes, it was very good. Yes, and we've had other ones too. So there's been 4 or 5 over the years.
Great. Wow. Well, Charlie, I understand you offer private tours?
Yes, we do. Yes, you can. You'll probably have my number and so forth, and please pass it on. I'm allowed to give private tours. The Castro probably won't be open until probably 2016. We're going to open sections at a time. The cocina, the kitchen building, will probably be open this year, 2014, in the fall. So yeah, sometime in the future we'll be open, but right now, just private tours.
Great.
And by the way, it doesn't cost you anything. It's like a free lunch.
And those are the best.
That's the best. That's true.
Well, great. Thanks for having us here, Charlie. Thanks for allowing us to interview and check out the Castro Adobe. This has been a wonderful experience for us.
I've enjoyed it immensely. I've never been on a ghost hunt before, and I had a heck of a good time. And I want to thank you, too, because I do think that we have a possibility here of bringing people in on a whole different sequence of activity that might be very important to some very people. So it'd be kind of fun down the line.
I could see that in the future for sure.
Thank you, guys.
All right. Thank you. The Adobe is currently not available for public tour. For more information, go to that'smypark.org. Look for Friends of the Castro Adobe for open house availability or private tours with Charlie Kiefer. This is Marianne Porter with Santa Cruz Ghost Hunters signing off. Stay tuned for more paranormal podcasts. Please be sure to visit us at SantaCruzGhostHunters.com for more ghostly tales, investigations such as the historical Castro Adobe, and upcoming Santa Cruz haunted tours with actual locations. Thanks for tuning in. Once again, is it a ghost or a ghost story? We're here live on location at the Castro Adobe, wrapping it up with the team. All right, guys, let's hear what happened tonight.
We heard some awesome flamenco guitar. Yes.
Thank you, Jay.
Thank you, Jay. Indeed.
We did some reenactments tonight, and Mr. Jay Alvarez went ahead and played the guitar, which was fantastic. Pat, I understand while he was playing the guitar, you had a little bit of some experience.
When Jerry was playing his first song upstairs, halfway through or so, I began hearing loud laughter, talking, maybe some banging on the walls, some sort of a pounding. And I looked around to see if anybody else was reacting, and nobody else was reacting. So I knew I was hearing it by myself. I listened for a few minutes, and then it just stopped as suddenly as it started.
Wow.
Wish I would have heard it.
I know. Yeah. Hope we pick it up.
All right. Sanji.
Oh, well, we had an awesome flashlight conversation in the cocina, which we didn't expect, or I didn't expect to have any kind of activity out there since I'd been out here previously the week before. But we actually had some response to some words like mijo and mija. And anytime we mentioned food, the lights would just go on like crazy. And we were able to have those lights come on and the K2 meters go off simultaneously, so it was a sort of a double. Oh, and we also had a small phone radar, and that was talking at us at the same time.
Oh, fantastic.
It was quite amazing. So
All
we were
right.
very happy.
And Sir Timothy, what about yourself?
I'm hoping for the audio and digital to come up with some information. As far as my personal gear, it was hot right off the get and then just cooled off. I didn't get anything else on the Vox, no more readings, nothing on the Ghost Radar. So I'm hoping that something comes on the audio or the video, and I would love to come back and do it again. I think this would be a positive place to make something happen.
I wanted to feel more touching. The first time I was here, I was touched.
Yeah.
I did
remember that.
not expect it. I didn't even know that the area that I stood in had that, people had been touched in that area. And I was alarmed because I thought it was a bug or something. And after tonight, seeing some of the bugs out there in the garden, I was kind of a little bit creeped out. But actually, it was a very interesting touch. It was gentle, and it was more like, "Oh, come this way, come this way." I did not feel at any time that there was anything here that did not want us to visit.
Right. It seems very warm.
Yes.
Very
Nothing
inviting.
negative, nothing
Yes.
negative.
Very happy.
Yeah. Rhiannon, you got any input on tonight's investigation?
Mine, I would like to come back, and I would like to bring a Spanish-speaking person with us next time if we do come back, because given the history of the Castro Adobe, I think we would get more activity if we had a Spanish-speaking person to talk out to them and reach out to them, and
Yeah, right.
hopefully get some better and more interactive actions.
Well, that's something we can definitely consider.
That might be something, people that are listening to the digital recordings too, maybe somebody who knows Spanish, because we don't know what we might pick up.
Right.
Exactly. Can interpret.
Right.
And Miss Amy, you are new with Santa Cruz Ghost Hunters. This is your second investigation, I would say.
Yes, and I'm very excited. I actually got to see the flashlights communication and saw that a few times. Had a conversation out with Sanjay in the garden, which was really nice. And I can't wait to come back, and I agree with Rhiannon on having a Spanish speaker because they could understand them more than they would understand us. They're probably a little confused sometimes by our questions.
Stupid gringos.
And Ralph,
Yeah,
do you have anything to add?
I think you got some good stuff here tonight on my recorder. Just a few minutes ago, while I was upstairs, I had asked it, was asking questions up there, and I asked about the full moon, and all of a sudden, I heard a sigh, and then it went, "Get out of here," in a whisper. And I was hearing things all night, too, just like that, the whispers and mumblings.
Right,
So
right.
it's going to be interesting to put on the computer to play to see exactly what we got.
Well, we'll have to see what that is. Maybe they're thinking you're chasing one of their chiquitas. All right. Well, it was great to have everyone here tonight, and I hope we can come back and visit again. This is Mary Ann Porter signing off, and the Santa Cruz Ghost Hunter team.
Yay.
Give yourselves a hand.